There are designers who are doing great work, but they are still exhausted, underpaid, and stuck in the same place year after year. The designing skill is super strong. Clients भी बहुत appreciate करते हैं जी काम बहुत बढ़िया है, मजा आ गया design. But the growth is very unstable. Average designer always scale. Why they are successful? Exactly those 6 principles I will be sharing, that how a successful designer versus a good designer, what is the difference? They're able to get better clients. They have a predictable growth. The gap between these two is not the talent. The gap is the structure to run a design studio, to grow a studio. And how the studio is built and operated, that is exactly what I teach in my Design Titan community. Hi, I am architect Sidhant Garg and the founder of Design Titan community. Already 9,000 plus architects and interior designers have been impacted across India, helping them to launch, to grow and scale their design studio. You know, difference kya hai? College just teaches you about drawings, concepts and design. What about the design studio? How do you run? How do you get clients? How do you grow? And job teaches you all the instructions and how do you work. But there is no ownership, even no decision-making power. When you start your own studio, when you launch your studio, exactly all the things you face the reality. The main thing is that good designers always try to improve their design skills. कि ये software use कर रहे हैं, ये इस तरह से 3D बना रहे हैं. It's not in the just the design skills. The reality is in the practice. And studio always grow through decisions, through proper processes, to having systems, to have control over your work and also the clients. When the basics are missing, you may put hundreds of hours, lot of hard work, lot of smart work even. But it only works when you have a defined process, defined system. If you don't have it, frustration is the only thing, overwhelming, anxiety, that's it. Here are the 6 different patterns. What are the difference between a successful designer and a good designer? The first pattern is that good designers chase perfection versus a successful designer prioritize completion. कि काम खत्म करना है, not just having a perfectionist syndrome. Yeah. My mentor always says version 1 is always better than version none. If you're having endless revisions, not defining the outcomes, just working and getting high on design, never works. Versus the successful designer always has standardization. कि काम क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. The second pattern is personalization. A successful designer always works on proper systems. A good designer thinks that the design needs to be customized, lot of things need to be added, only then that person will be successful. Versus a successful designer have a process for onboarding a new client, for hiring, for revisions, for sending the invoice, how to deal with the contractor. System reduces the load, and that is why the average designer always wins. The third pattern which I have noticed is the skill versus clarity. Good designer sells skill, but an average designer who is successful sells clarity. Your clients want certainty. They want clarity. What is the outcome that you are going to give? What are the timelines you are giving? What is the risk you are taking on behalf of them by selecting the right material, the right planning, the right decisions for them? And that predictability builds trust, right? And the fourth pattern which I've noticed is the validation. Versus a successful designer always have the boundaries. Good designer seeks validation. Acha, can I charge this much? What if the client runs? Oh, I will give over delivery. I'll do underpricing, but I want this project. Not having clear scope of work. Versus a successful designer always have boundaries. How many revisions will be there? What is the timeline of engagement for this project? Even having boundary for your time. When and where, how much time are you going to devote? Whether at 8 p.m. you are going to receive the call or not. And the fifth pattern is readiness versus momentum. Good designer always waits to feel ready. नहीं अभी थोड़ा और, अभी थोड़ा और. Always delay the hiring. Delays the delegation. नहीं, only I have to do, not any other person can do. And always delay the pricing change. They just get high on designs, not just the pricing. Versus a successful designer accepts uncertainty. They take charge. They take calculated risk. They try and test different things. They adjust according to the time. And not just this, they move forward for hiring, delegating their work, training their team, building their team. This is the fifth pattern. And the sixth pattern which I've noticed is ego versus the systems. A good designer ties it with the self-worth. If someone said something about the design, they take it personally. ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया? Oh, I made the best thing. Don't fall in love with your designs. The feedbacks are for improvement. A successful designer always accepts the feedback, filter it, work on it, apply it, and make sure that you are a one mistake learner. It's okay to be okay. Getting it? They believe in stronger leadership, not fearing, if I tell everything to my team, they will learn, they will go. It's absolutely fine. You need to create the second line of leaders. You need to have that maturity of operations. Okay, I'll delegate, and this is how you can expand. Because a successful designer can even manage 20, 30, 40 projects versus a good designer, only 3, 4 or 5 projects, and having that ego massage. I have made this, but are you growing? Are you getting comfortable to be more uncomfortable? Are you letting go of control, micromanaging so many things? No, you need to give control to your team, managing your clients, having boundaries, having processes, right pricing, what you deserve, not what client says and you says, okay, I'm ready to do this project. Absolutely not. And that is exactly what I teach in my Design Titan community, the right way of pricing your work. Yeah. And we have hundreds of members across India where I really teach you the practical part which no one in the world talks about. No theory, only practical part. And if you think this is something which gave you a Balba moment, I'll be happy to see your comments in the comment section below, that which is that one principle which hit you hard. And these are the 6 different patterns or principles between a good designer and an average designer who is more successful. All right. Cheers. I'll be happy to see you in the next one. Stay tuned.